Hey, what's up everybody? Magic Gamer here, and today's video is, as you can see in the title, what I would like to see in a possible sequel to Xenoverse. Xenoverse 2 or whatever it be called. Preferably Xenoverse 2 because I actually enjoyed the gameplay and things of that in the current Xenoverse game. Now, just to be clear, there is currently no announcement for a Xenoverse 2 yet. Yes, there was a little fake image being leaked around via Twitter and things like that, but that was debunked by the DBZ YouTube community a while ago. That said, so in these videos, I'm probably going to do a series of these, maybe 3 at most, yeah, 3 at most, depends on how much I can cram into these videos and what all I can think of to talk about in regards to what I would like to see in the next game, or what I would at least like for Bandai Namco to do to make the game as awesome as possible. Now, I have no influence over what they do, just to be clear, but hopefully, as they have been doing as of late, they have been paying attention to fans, and anytime fans say they want to see this or that, they have at the very least acknowledged that they both understood and heard what they said, and will take it into consideration. They even did a survey recently to find out what people thought about the current Xenoverse and what they would like to see implemented in the future. But I digress on that in that regard. So, what would I personally, as a fan of the game and just the series overall, like to see in a possible sequel to Xenoverse? We'll just call it Xenoverse 2. So from here on, I'm going to refer to it as Xenoverse 2. So what would I like to see in Xenoverse 2? Well, one, I'd like for our current custom characters, all of them, to transfer over.
It's time for a little game.
I know a lot of people have issues in regards to the custom characters right now because a lot of people claim that they are OP, overpowered, for those who don't know that abbreviation. And I have heard the arguments, I understand, but frankly, I feel that there are ways around characters, regardless of what moves or abilities they have. The biggest thing people seem to argue in regards to the game is, well, Saiyans have the Super Saiyan form, it gives them unlimited supers and all that stuff. Yes, it does give them unlimited this and that and such whenever they have it, but once it wears off, they are as vulnerable can be, and that is your opportunity to take advantage of their vulnerability and beat them. And it's quite easily to do it. And, even more so, I have taken the liberty of giving a handicap to people that complain about this and not even transform during a fight. In fact, I recently did a I want to say it was a 3-on-3. It was me, 2 computer characters, and 3 characters controlled by actual people over Xbox Live on Xenoverse, and I didn't transform for the entire fight. I won in base form battling these people. So, that said, I've also got my butt handed to me even in Super Saiyan, and I'm at the maximum level. And I'm pretty sure, like, if there's people out there who can do it, so, the argument seems invalid. Then there's people that argue about how the stats are set up, like, you more or less could, theoretically, if you sacrifice stats in key areas, max out some, and make it to where, say, more or less you could one-punch somebody, or one-hit KO, whatever you want to say, but I honestly haven't encountered anybody like this. If I have, then for whatever reason, my stats were just good enough to counter whatever they were throwing at me. And just to be clear, my custom Saiyan male character that I use has a balanced stat. Everything is perfectly even. I got 50 stat points in every category. So while he doesn't excel anywhere, he doesn't really suck anywhere either, per se. He's even in all categories. So, frankly, I want our custom characters to transfer over. I want their stats to remain the same, but I want them to add a few things, such as I want them to allow the level to go even higher. I want them to make the AI more difficult in the game, so that way, obviously, when the story continues, whatever they decide to use for a story in the game, that it'll be even better. It'll be equally challenging despite the fact our levels are still the same, and will continuously get higher until they decide whatever the level cap for Xenoverse 2 would be, which I would imagine, since it'd be starting off, if Xenoverse 2 came out, I would imagine the maximum level until another update came out probably be 150, and that's just personal guess on that, and I'm probably completely wrong on that. I like to see more moves introduced. I think there's a pretty good amount of outfits. I can't think of any that I would like to actually see implemented into the game in terms of like being able to make your character dress like somebody. I think there was a good amount of costumes people were capable of wearing. I liked all of them, and I can't really think of anything else to introduce. Let me see. I would like the hub world to stay there. I mean, I've seen people argue that they shouldn't have a hub world. I think the hub world should remain. However, I also think they should expand it, make it bigger, if possible. I mean, I know this is asking for a lot, and I think it could be done, but it's just a matter of money and do they really want to do it. But I would like for them to take and make it to where the entire DBZ version of Earth is the hub world. Like, you could travel from, like, say, Goku's house to Bulma's house in West City, etc. And it wouldn't be like a loading screen in between. Like, you could just straight up fly there, etc. Let me see. I'd like for them to also potentially introduce, or no, not introduce, but put into the game, because it was something I was actually hoping for, because I had some ideas I wanted to use it for but couldn't because it didn't exist. I'd like for them to bring back, like they had in old DBZ games, the CPU versus CPU function. They did not have that in the current Xenoverse, and I kept crossing my fingers and hoping that they might find a way to introduce it, but they never did. And I'm sure they had the reasons. It could have just been because it's beyond their capability to add something like that, or maybe it'd just be too much work, because it costs money for them to develop things and add them into the game, especially if they're building it from the ground up in regards to a new mechanic or whatever. So I completely understand that, but I hope they introduce it in Xenoverse 2, if there is a Xenoverse 2, which I am crossing my fingers and hoping for. Well, let me see. I can't really think of anything else to talk about in today's video, but I hope y'all enjoyed so far, and I hope you will watch more of these as I do them in the future. Tune in tomorrow when I will have the next part of my Pokemon Yellow Let's Play up. Also, make sure to check out my official Facebook and Twitter pages, along with my Twitch page. I'll link down in the description of the video. So, yeah, folks, tell me what you all would like to see in a possible sequel to Xenoverse, if you enjoyed the game, if you didn't enjoy the game, if so, why not, etc. Yeah, so, peace, thanks, bye. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z/Kai, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super are all owned by Fuji TV, Toei Animation, Funimation, and Akira Toriyama. I do not claim to own any of these. The video and any images that appear were used under fair use.